Well, good afternoon, everybody. Today is another day of hope. Hope for New York. Earlier this year, when the budget was passed on time, or a little bit early, as they say, we gave New Yorkers hope that things were changing in this state. Today's announcement about the property tax cap is another reason for hope in New York State. And we've got more work to do. This is just another spoke in the wheel that hopefully can get our state back on track again. There's been a lot of discussion, a lot of rhetoric, a lot of work that's been put into this for many years on the property tax cap. And certainly it's just the beginning. We have, as I mentioned here today, we've got to get New Yorkers back to work. We've got to create jobs. How do we create jobs? It's by enticing people to keep their business here and locate their business here. And one of those enticements will be the ability to control rising property taxes. More importantly, how about that retired senior that's at home that has had to give up their home because they couldn't afford the rising cost of property taxes? And it doesn't matter where you live. We have some of the highest property taxes in the nation. So this is much needed reform that we're doing here today. As Leader Sampson also stated, we got some work to do yet. We've got to deal with mandates. We've got to provide mandate relief to local governments and school districts. We've got to reduce the cost drivers that affect everyone in this state. But this is a true beginning, I think a terrific accomplishment for all that's here today to come together and work together. And the gentleman I'm about to introduce has been helping to lead that charge. Governor Cuomo, as the speaker mentioned, had been campaigning on this issue before he got elected governor and has not lost that mantra. And actually it takes strong leadership to continue to prod and push because not everybody agrees on whether A, we should even have a property tax cap, what does it look like, what do we do about unfunded mandates, et cetera, et cetera. But Governor Cuomo kept pushing and prodding and pleading and cajoling and shaking hands and having coffee, so I understand. So, with that note, I would like all of us and you to welcome our Governor, Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you. A lot of cups of coffee. First, to Kim Adams, thank you very much for your leadership on this issue and the SBC in general. To the men and women who are leaders of the business community, it's a pleasure to be with them today. We thank them very much for joining us. And my colleagues, the legislative leaders who you heard from, speaking to this point in the program, the old adage, everything has been said, just not everyone said it, is true. This agreement is a big deal. This issue is probably the most powerful and pervasive issue across the state. People who are from New York City don't feel it. But I can't tell you how many times someone has come up to me and said, you have to do something about property taxes. I just can't afford to stay in my home anymore. It is one of the taxes that has been forcing people from this state and businesses from this state. It's not just a residential tax. It's a major tax on business. And we've been having this conversation year after year after year. We have to grow the economy, we have to bring back jobs. Meanwhile, we've been chasing them from the state with the property taxes. And we've had the conversation for years, literally for years. And more people left, and more pain was felt, and the government was unresponsive. The difference is today, we're saying we have an agreement to finally do something about it. And it is going to be this Senate and this Assembly that will deal with an issue that should have been dealt with, frankly, 10 years ago. And that is a big deal. And I applaud the Senate and I applaud this Assembly for this agreement and making this progress. This is not an easy issue. It is not an easy issue. It is a difficult issue. It is an issue with opposition. And it's all too often that when there's opposition, it's all too often for government not to act, right? The old expression, he who does nothing wrong. Well, this is a Senate, and this is an Assembly that is stepping up to the plate and showing leadership and addressing a major issue. And I applaud them, and I applaud their leadership, and it's my pleasure to be part of it. I also want to thank the men and women from the business community who are here. I think when you put the budget together with a property tax cap in this state, it is going to be a game changer. and it's going to change the trajectory of this state for the good. And I think you're going to see it, and you're going to feel it, and you're going to see it and feel it relatively quickly, because you already see it and feel it. Just the work we've done in a few months, getting the budget done on time, closing a deficit, doing it with no new taxes, as Senate Leader Skelos said, that has made a difference. It has made a difference. When you put that together with the property tax cap, businesses, people will get that this is a new New York. If you think you knew New York, take a second look, because we get it, we understand it, and this is a New York that's open for business. We have to sign a piece of paper, which is always important, but this is a very, very good step. And I applaud them both in their conferences once again. Questions, comments?
Governor, just to be clear, I think this is more a question for Senator Skelos. You were agreeing, your conference is agreeing to pass the bill that Shelley Silver proposed today? As is?
At the end of this legislative session, I think I've indicated this on numerous occasions,